What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And I hope you like this video. This is going to be your review for Love and Marriage Huntsville Season 6, Episode 7. So, we start this episode off. We have Martell looking for his event space. And it's all, for his upscale magazine event. And it's all good, whatever. And then he calls Sheree. Let me just say for the record, I was on the fence about whether this whole Sheree Martell situation was real or fake. And what I mean by on the fence was I was pretty certain that it did not start with pure intentions, but I thought maybe they had started really liking each other and they was really feeling each other. Things happen like that. But after this episode, I feel no chemistry. I see no chemistry. I see no familiarity with them. Now I know that they filmed this a while ago. But still, I just don't feel nothing. Y'all supposed to be clicking like later on in the episode when she goes over his house, it just was awkward. I don't know, it was just awkward and it was weird. Like, she had to ask, do you want me to take my shoes off? If you've been to Huntsville before and you've been at his house before, you know whether he's a shoes on, shoes off person. Like, I know my friends and I know whether when I go to their house if I gotta take my shoes off or not. Like, you know that. Anyway, moving on. We'll get to that later. So, that was cool. He saw the event space. Yeah. Nothing major there. So then Melody decides that she is going to have an ambush lunch. And what I mean by that is she invites Tiffany. She invites Kiki. And she doesn't tell one that she's inviting the other because she said, we got to clear the air and we need to resolve this and we need to squash this whole situation right now. She invites Nell Fletcher. I guess that's supposed to be her buffer. I think low-key they're trying to bring Nell and Chris on the show full time because Nell done been in more scenes this season than I think I've seen her the whole 6 seasons. But neither here nor there. I like her though. So I'm cool. I like her. So Kiki and Tiffany get to talking. I'm going to be honest with y'all. I really don't care. Because in the very next scene they arguing again. So they never really said that they were making up. They just said that they heard each other out and that they were, gonna move forward, I guess. Now the one thing that Kiki did say was that, they cleared the air and they cool now. But she said, but I have said some stuff because I was mad at you. So when you hear something, if somebody bring you some tea, just know that whatever I said it. But I said it when I was still mad at you and before we had this conversation and before we cleared the air. So just so you know, I need you to understand. Please don't get all excited over some old tea. Because I said it. But I said it back then. I didn't say it now. Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm looking at my teeth. So, then she says, oh, and what I said about the father comment, I didn't mean it the way it came out. Like, I was just throwing it out there. Basically, what she was trying to say was, I wasn't throwing it at you. I felt like she was throwing that at Tisha. Because remember, Miss Wanda had made comments about Kiki and her father and her family parenting. But I still say the same thing. It was still a low blow and it was still shade. Because even if whether you were throwing it at Tiffany or you were throwing it at Tisha, who you allegedly is trying to move forward with and trying to build a friendship, why you said it all? You meant what you said when you said it. You meant it at Tiffany and you meant it how it came out. But whatever, Kiki. I don't like Kiki. I don't like Tiffany. Because even if they just doing it for the camera and they doing it to make quote unquote good TV, I don't like it. So moving on. So I guess they cleared the air, child. I guess. Next thing you know, Tiffany is talking about Mel being happy and moving on and whatever with her and Martell moving on. And if he got a girlfriend, maybe Mel can be. Listen, you have ingratiated yourself way too much into what Mel and Martell got going on. And Mel, she's not your friend. She's messy and she's using your pain as a way to be messy. Because she don't really care that much about what Martell got going on and who he got it going on with. And we're going to get to her a little bit later on with her and her messiness. Okay? But yeah, I can't do this with Tiffany. I can't. And I haven't even looked at last night's episode, but I hear last night's episode is worse than tonight's episode, child. But, well, for me it was tonight because I just watched it today. I watched it yesterday. Anyway, neither here nor there, child. So while Mel was having dinner at her house, Tisha invited Kimmy and Stormy out to sort of recap the whole situation as well, the tea party. And Stormy wasn't really feeling it. Like, she felt judged. She didn't like the fact that this woman was trying to tell her how to be a lady. She said, I've been a lady, and I don't need nobody to tell me how to be a lady. So she wasn't really feeling the situation. Then they got into the communication piece of it. And, you know, so then they got into the whole communication piece, like I said, and we got on the Kiki Tiffany thing. And come to find out, when Tiffany was saying last night, I don't know Kiki, I don't know Kiki, I don't know Kiki. Well, not only does she know Kiki, but she was talking shit with Kiki about Tisha last season when Kiki was coming for Tisha. She retweeted some stuff. She added Carlos, talking about some Kiki, I like her. And she, like, inboxed Kiki. So, I guess that's another reason why Kiki felt some kind of way. Why you sitting here acting like you don't know me, when not only do you know me, but we had, like, we was kikiing about stuff that was happening on the season. So, you know, she really felt some kind of way about it. Well, then Stormy brings all the tea, honey. That Tiffany was talking about Tisha and how Tisha got kicked out of her office and how that business isn't really hers. It's just in her name, but that she really don't have no authority and she really don't run nothing around there. And so, of course, now Tisha is like, girl, I know you better keep my name out of your mouth because I know some things about you. The streets are talking some alleged rumors about what you are or are not doing. So I would prefer that you just keep me out of it and keep my name out of it because, ma'am, you don't know me. Okay, you don't know me. So next we are at the Billboard. I mean, I said the Billboard event, child. The book, the magazine cover event, upscale event. And everybody except for Mel. So first of all, I don't know why Tiffany want to know if Mel coming. Girl, you know Mel not coming. Why would you even bring it up? Why would you even ask? Why would you even make it an issue? You know Mel is not coming. Like, stop it. Everybody else is there. Like, it is what it is. So Stormy, Kiki, and Tiffany are there. And Stormy wants to call herself clear in the air between Kiki and Tiffany. Now, here's where all they had to say was, we already talked about this yesterday at Mel's house and we good. Which they did, but then they allowed Stormy to continue to move the conversation. Kiki, because Stormy said, well, when I met with Tisha and Kimmy last night or whenever it was, they told me that you was talking ish about Kiki and was retweeting, about Tisha, and you was retweeting Carlos and you was all in the DMs and stuff. All they had to say, if they really did not want to go argue, all they had to say was, yeah, we talked about all of that and we both did some shit and we moved on. But Stormy opened the door and Kiki walked through it. So now they get to arguing again, once again, about who said what. And Tiffany is trying to act like it's not a big deal. Tiffany is trying to act like, well, all I said was, I didn't say this, I didn't say that. So Tiffany want to try to play dumb. See, I hate these internet gangsters, and then they want to, or social media gangsters, and then when they get caught up in certain things, then they want to play dumb. Now all of a sudden, Tiffany talking about, well, I didn't see the whole post. Well, that's not what I meant. Well, that's not what I said. Ma'am, the sentence said, Carlos, keep Kiki, comma, she gonna tell everything, and you liked it. What more do you need to know? It doesn't need to be in context. It doesn't need to be about any, you already know it's shady. You know that the whole storyline with Kiki last season was her telling her cousin's business. Now you was up here defending Tisha. You was so bothered and so disturbed by what Kiki did that you were so upset by it. But now all of a sudden, here you come and you her defender. Like, but you was talking shit. That's the only point that they were trying to make. And of course, Tiffany want to act like she don't know what they talking about. And she's so dumb to it. And I don't know what you mean. And I don't know what you said. Child, so then the whole conversation dissolved into semantics. Kiki said that she knew Tiffany, and Tiffany said, well, I don't know her like that. Ma'am, it's not a like that. You knew her well enough to be sending her text messages. You knew her well enough to trust her with helping you find your daddy. So you know who she is, and you know what she about, and you know what it gives. And you just came in here with a different attitude, and that's all you had to say. All you had to say was, well, last year, I was kind of with the shits. But I thought about it, and I kind of see it from Tisha's point of view, and I just feel some kind of way about it. Girl, that's all you had to say. That is it, and that is all. That is it, and that is all. So next thing you know, Kiki ends up getting up and walking off because Kiki like, listen, if I keep sitting here, then it's gonna be a whole situation. Like if I keep doing this back and forth, then it's gonna be a problem. So she gets up and she walks off and she lets Kimmy know what they. And Kimmy was like, y'all arguing again? Like really? And again, I feel like y'all have resolved this at Melody's house. Why y'all arguing? Like Kiki specifically said, people, there's some stuff out here that I said before me and you made up. That should have fallen under the category of before we made up. And it should have just not been an issue. Anyway, next thing you know, Martell walks in with Sheree and they walking around the room. And I saw Martell dapping up a lot of people and greeting a lot of people. I didn't see him introducing a lot of people, okay? And, you know, people was noticing and people was like, okay, well, you know, you here and she's here, but you ain't really going out of your way to introduce her to nobody or for the people she hasn't already met. I mean, we saw her go up to his mom, and so you could tell that she has met his mom before because we saw that happen. Martell gave a speech. Let me say this. Martell's manager, that lady, I don't remember her name, but Martell's manager, from this day forward and forevermore, never, ever, 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 let Martell give a speech without a teleprompter and or cards, okay? I know that it's probably a little tacky to stand up in front of a crowd with index cards in your hand, but invest in a teleprompter because Martell doesn't know how to ad-lib. Martell gets nervous and he gets out of, and he doesn't know how to sort of ad-lib, and he does these little things when he's nervous. Listen, give him a speech and then you tell Martell read from it. Don't look at the audience. Don't try to make no jokes. Just read the cards. Anyway, so he gave his speech, and of course, he didn't congratulate Sheree specifically, you know, but she was there hugging up on him, honey, and it was all cool and cute. So he goes off to greet some more people, and he sort of leaves Sheree standing there. So Tiffany takes it upon herself to have a conversation with Sheree. So her and Sheree are sitting down talking. And let me say this. I'm going to give Sheree an A for restraint because the Real Housewives of Atlanta Sheree would have cut Tiffany up. But the guest of Martell Holt on Love Marriage Huntsville Sheree gave Tiffany a lot of grace, okay? Tiffany decided that she need to ask Sheree all these questions. So first she going to ask Sheree, well, have you met Mel? Sheree was like, no. She said, well, I did meet her, but not in the capacity of, like, me dating Martell. She said, I met her. I was doing a book signing. She showed up. She wanted a picture. She had Lil Martell with her. I took a picture, and that was the extent of it. And Tiffany was like, oh, so you were saying that she's a fan of yours? She's an admirer? Sheree was like, well, I mean, she knew who I was. She asked for a picture. I was at a book signing. She showed up. She said, oh, okay. So, I feel like we need to remedy this. I feel like you need to meet Sheree. I feel like you need to meet Melody. And Sheree was like, why? Why do I need to meet her? I don't feel like I do. Well, don't you want things to run smooth with, she said, well, you've met the kids. Sheree said, I have. Well, I would feel weird about somebody that my ex is dating. I feel like I need to meet them. I feel like you and you and Melody need to meet each other. Sheree was like, I don't think so. So then she was like, so, what did she say? Damn, I want to go on order. She said, oh, do you think Martell still has feelings for Melody? And Sheree was like, well, that's the mother of his children. They built a life together. I would expect him to still, feel some kind of way. She was like, but as far as him being in love with her, she said, that's not the impression I get from the conversations that we have. So Tiffany was like, oh, really? Well, we were at an event a few weeks ago, and, he chased Mel around the event, and when Mel was trying to leave, he insisted on walking her to the car, and, I just think that was, you don't think that was a bit much? You don't think that was a lot? Sheree was like, Like, I could see it. I could see the irritation boiling up in Sheree. I could see it. So then she was like, so, how do you feel about dating somebody with the reputation of Martell? She was like, what you mean? She said, well, he's a known cheater, and this is where Sheree hit her. Sheree said, well, I do watch your show. She said, and you cheated too. So, baby, the look on Tiffany's face was like, how dare you volley back at me, right? I said, ooh, that was a good one, Sheree. That was a good one, girl. So then Tiffany gonna say, well, I mean, what makes you think he won't do it to you? I mean, would you putting the pussy down on him like that? I said, oh, Tiffany, you crazy as hell. You doing too much. You were doing way too much. And that's where the scene ended, because, baby, you saw Sheree leaning back, and you saw that look on her face, and I know what she was thinking. She was like, baby, if we was on my show right now. She was like, and she pregnant. And she pregnant, so I gotta woo-saw this. I need to woo. Because, baby. And so the next day we see Sheree going to visit Martell at his house. Like I said, she clearly don't go there often. I ain't gonna say she never been there, but she clearly don't go there often because she had to ask if she needed to take her shoes off. And like I said, if you go to somebody's house often enough, you know whether they are shoes on or shoes off kind of person. Anyway, so then she just was awkward. Where do you want me to sit? Now, to be fair, maybe she was asking, where do you want me to sit in relation to where the cameras are set up? You know, she does do reality. She knows all about sitting in certain places and scenes being set up. But still, it just looked weird. It just looked weird to me. So Sheree basically lets him know all the things that Tiffany said. And Martell was like, what? And Sheree was like, these your friends, right? Like, these are your friends? Like, isn't she supposed to be your friend? Like, why would she say that? And Martell was like, oh my gosh. Like, he said, well, I'm definitely going to have to address Tiffany because that was uncalled for. And it absolutely was. That whole conversation was uncalled for. And Sheree was like, she said she wanted to get to know me, but she didn't ask me any questions about myself. Everything was about Melody and you and Melody and you. It was no questions about me or trying to get to know me. She was like, so I just felt like that was a whole situation. And yeah, you might need to get her. So anyway, that was pretty much the episode, child. Y'all let me know what y'all think. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.